Hi, WTB community. This is Olivier. I hope you've been well. I'm going to share with you the few things that we've been working on the last sprint. And the first thing is creating a business. So initially we had a list of businesses where you can see the businesses that are registered under a community, but now you can also create a specific business. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So the first one, you can put the name of a business. Let me call this basic startup. Then you find the user. So the user is the owner of the business because this is an admin who's creating that. So you can type the name of the user, let's say Mutale. Then if then the users have similar names, then they will show us a list. Then you pick the one that you want. Then the email can be, this is the email of the business, so it can be business@startup.com. And the phone number, that's also required. Then the link is for the home address for that website, for that business. So it can be anything, business.com. Then the logo URL, the description, the address, the status. This also required, either if it's verified or if it's pending verification. Then also the categories. You choose a category, whether it's agriculture or any other different category that's in there. So I'll go ahead and choose health service. Then you can also put operational hours, like 7 to 7. Then you create the business. So once you create the business, then you can see that it shows here on the list. So that's basic startup. Then when you click on it, it shows you all the information that you've entered as a business. So yeah, that's for the business. Then next is being able to merge users. So Sorab worked on the backend side of being able to merge users. And there was also the front end side of merging the users. So when you go on the user's profile, you can be able to click the merge. Then when you click on merge, you choose the user that you want to merge. So for example, let me say, I think a user called demo. So you choose the name of the user that you want to merge. Then after you choose, then you click on merge. Then it asks you if you actually want to proceed to merge. You can proceed or cancel that in case you are not sure about the merging. Then once that is done, it closes the pop-up to have merged the two users. So one user will no longer be available because it has already been merged with the other account. Okay, so next is on the comments that are being added on discussion. So if you follow a discussion, for example, I'm following this discussion, if there are new comments that have been added on that specific day, we'll be sending you comments, or at least tell you that you have a number of new comments on the discussion that you are following. In case you are following multiple discussions, let's say you're following 3 discussions or 4 discussions, we'll send you the number of comments and also the links on the specific discussions that you are following, so that you can easily go and check who commented on the discussions that you are following. So yeah. Next, we have the latest news. Basically, we show the latest 5 posts that have been posted, and you can click on any to read more about it. So, for example, this one is called Denkwashi. I believe it's the faces behind the community. So you can click there and you get to read more about that specific post. And yeah, so on the homepage, basically shows you the latest news. So each new post that comes in, it will show there, and you don't get to miss any latest news that come in. Next is on the improvements on messages. So this was to help our CSMs to easily manage messages. So when they are reaching out to our clients or the users of the application, then their messages, there's some messages that they are not able to see. So what we added is being able to see all the messages for that specific users. So they're able to paginate when the messages are more than 50 on that specific page. We can either go to the next message or the previous message and this helps improve the communication between the users and the CSM, and we hope this can increase the number of active users if the communication is efficient enough. Then next is we had an error on the batch time when choosing the batch time. So the issue was that it was bring a blank screen when you click on the date. So now you can either choose to edit this by hand, or you can use the picker. So choose whichever you want. So you can either use a picker or you can select the date by hand. Then the last one, we had a bug here that was causing an issue in Rover. So that was on view comments. We fixed that as well. Then the last that I'm not able to demo is the updating of the API keys for SendGrid that we did as well. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you watch the next demo as well. At this point, I'll give it to Saurabh to share also what he was working on. Thank you.
Hi everyone, let me share my screen. Hi, this is Saurabh. So in the sprint, I worked on first thing is campaigns. So in campaign, as of now, now we added the status in the campaigns. So let's say, let me create a quick campaign for you and show that. So the functionality I'm demoing is we can hide the deleted campaigns, and the campaigns can be deleted who are in either drafted state or scheduled state. So basically who have not started yet. Let me create a campaign. So it is done. We have a test campaign. Here we have the more details button, and here we have the deleted one. So this test campaign, I'm deleting it. It is gone. And there is one more condition, that if the campaign is already started or scheduled, I mean that is in progress, so that cannot be deleted. Other than this, I worked on the tasks part. Let me go to the tasks. So the user must be notified who is assigned to the task. So and he can notify it from email. So this is what I did. The ticket is 50. Send a notification whenever the task is assigned through email. Let me create a quick task demo. The email. Let me assign it to maybe a couple of users. Then is Saurabh, and it's created. The task has been created. I'm just checking into my, yep, I have the email now. And we also had a requirement that email should have deep link to click here and view the task. So here it goes. Whenever you click the link, the task will be open. This is it, task demo. The next thing I worked upon is we were looking for some metrics due to some performance issues in the application, and trying to figure out how to look into it. So I added few instrumentation by using New Relic, so that we can observe that where the things are going slow, and where our memory consumptions of our servers are going. So here's the New Relic. Let's say here are the transactions, which transactions are taking more time. We have the charts here, that what at what time we had the peak on which request. Let's say if we go here, we can check what are the throughputs. Even if we go more into the detail, we can even check which database calls are taking more time, Uh, so here it's loading. What are the database queries? What are the slowest components the Postgres select from the database? Which controller part take more time? And this is how this stack trace is distributed. So we can go and just check. Even we have the sidekick. Just so apart from non-web, we have the active job sidekick. So we can check. Right now we have just two jobs. So which jobs are taking how much time, how much it is affecting the application performance, the spikes. Uh, uh, so yeah, that's a monitoring also. I added in this sprint, so we have everything here. Yeah, these are the major contributions on mine for this sprint. Over to you, Tolu.
Thank you. Hi everyone. So this is the continuation of the features we worked on this sprint. Yeah, so I worked on deleting a campaign. Right. So Sorab worked on the back end while I worked on the front end. So right now we can delete a campaign. Yep. So I also worked on deleting a business. So while Olivier worked on creating a business, we want to provide the functionality of deleting a business also. So I can actually delete this business. It's gone. Also, I worked on the ability to create a draft campaign. So let's say we want a campaign and we want to create a campaign and we don't want it scheduled immediately. Probably we just want to save it somewhere so that we can always update it later. Yeah, so I worked on the functionality of having a draft option. So when you're creating a draft campaign, some of the fields are not required. And when you're creating a scheduled campaign, the fields, some of the fields are actually required. So like you need to select this campaign type, campaign name, the messages, and user ID must be there. So if I should create this, it's actually created. Yeah, it's actually created here. And if I should just create a draft with just the name, yeah. So it's also created, and we have it here. So basically, that's it from me. Thank you for listening.
We decided to change the process where we actually are now enforcing about 2 peer reviews per merge request. So we've increased the number of code reviews we have, and engineers can now also push directly to staging, and also can push to production. Um, we also have a new member. His name is Nuruddin, and he will be joining us as a full stack software engineer. So for and also I believe Olivier talked about SendGrid API keys, and basically we received an email 2 days ago or 3 days ago from SendGrid saying that we must have tripped a trigger because they have removed all our keys and asked us to basically create new keys. Apparently, either they noticed some interesting activities on our account. Olivier and I went and looked and we couldn't find anything. So it may have been a false alarm, but either way, we changed all our API keys for SendGrid. So for this sprint, in the past 2 weeks, um, we have basically 11 merge requests last week, and this week we are already at 11 merge requests. So it's really good. And the week is not over; it's actually midway. So we are actually starting to increase in terms of output, and our code coverage has definitely increased. We are now at um, 32, almost 32% for For React and for Rails, our code coverage basically just remained constant at um, 88, um, 88%. Finally, um, our sprint. So um, we had, as I said, you know, throughout the whole sprint, we had 20 merge requests, and there was 26 issues right here. We closed 19 of them, and 7 of them are still open. And most of the open issues are actually bugs that we just need to fix. So overall, not bad at all. Our ratio of closed issues with merge request is getting closer. So it's more of a one-to-one, meaning that it's that we're starting to have less rework to do. And yeah, overall, very good. Thank you very much. Let me see. Minza, it's to you.
Thank you, Nicholas. So, hi, everyone. From our last sprint, as Nicholas mentioned, there are a few stories that are still open that will flow over into this next sprint around being able to track tasks when they're edited and registering support emails in the WGDP app. So those two will flow over into the next sprint. In the next sprint, we're continuing to see a lot of value being derived from like the task management workflows, and have received really good feedback from Nkwashi on how that interface and that workflow is helping bring more efficiency to their team. And so we're going to actually start cleaning up and providing a little bit more functionality within that task management interface. And another theme that we're going to be targeting is around community engagement. So we similarly from Nkwashi, we received feedback that discussion boards need abilities to hide or delete comments, and so that people can moderate them better. And there should be terms for the discussion board, and only admins can create discussion topics. So we are going to add a little bit more ability around that. On the theme for community engagement, we are also going to start introducing the idea of recognition and appreciation for community participation. So this is scores that you would receive if you do certain activities, and then introduce rewards and incentives based on how active you are as a community member. And then lastly, we're going to update the Nkwashi News homepage. Because the current homepage is based on an older design that we had used, and we want to make the new news landing page a little bit more interactive and appealing when people arrive on it. The next theme is around data integration and Customers 360. We are very excited about this. This is really around storing events when a user reads or selects an article. So currently we don't have that information residing within our system. So I, as a user, when I read a certain post, now in the next sprint, we're hoping that that information will be recorded in our activity log, and we'd be able to see which users and clients have read which type of articles, so we can better track on what their interests are, and then target them more specifically to their own interests. We have a few themes around campaign management, so cleanup on emails, diarizing workflows. We actually had Tamara review the diarized workflows around the tasks dashboard that we've created. So she was really excited about that, and we're going to do a little bit more to clean up that user experience, and also hoping to add an HTML editor for email. So really starting to build more and more capability around campaign management within the application. The next themes are around client relationship management. So this is more focused on our CRM and making our CRM user experience a little bit better, from improving filters and how the messages appear to the logbook workflows. So really kind of like cleaning up those workflows. And then we have a couple of spikes around subscription payments that we're still exploring. We're actually having a conversation today with Flutterbase and scheduling research sessions with a couple of different companies. And then the last story is also around product analytics. So looking at implementing Amplitude, and so we can get like better product analytics, and hopefully maybe even leverage these product analytics in the future to store data on the clients and their usage of the system. So, and the last theme is around Zone Hub, which we're continuing to work on. And that's like the second community that has come on board. That's what we're looking forward to in the next sprint, and welcome any questions that the team has. Thank you so much for listening.